Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And this movie is directed by Steven Spielberg, and it came out in 2008. The last time I watched this movie was when it was in theaters, and I remember kind of enjoying it. I was like, oh, that was a fun movie, because I just liked all the Indiana Jones movies at the time, and I hadn't seen this one forever, and was, for the longest time, the only Indiana Jones movie I haven't reviewed yet. Up until Dial of Destiny came out. Now I have two that I still needed to watch for a bit, and now I'm back to just one. But anyways, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I thought this movie was alright. I didn't hate it, surprisingly. There were enough elements that I liked. Like, I do think the movie is well shot. It feels like a Steven Spielberg movie based on that alone. Even with the movie having like this awful glow to it. But that's another thing. But in terms of how it was shot and how information was communicated visually and camera movements, it was good. I liked it. And the action scenes were fun when it was practical, not using CGI. And more on that later. I did like Harrison Ford in this movie, although there were points where it did feel like he was either falling asleep or just phoning it in. Like, there were points where I did pick up on that. And I kind of liked the adventure element. That was kind of fun for me. And also, I didn't really feel the runtime for this movie, for the most part. Like, it's 2 hours, and it's not even the longest Indiana Jones movie, surprisingly. I think Last Crusade is the longest one. And there were certain moments that I do remember from this movie, and they're memorable. Like, this movie does have some memorable scenes, for sure, but all in all, I just found this movie to be pretty hollow for at least half of it, and Kate Blanchett her character was kind of annoying. I didn't really care for her character, and the visual effects, it's pretty infamous that they don't really look all that great. Which is just so weird because this is the director of Jurassic Park and even The Lost World, Jurassic Park. Like, those two movies, like, really groundbreaking movies when it came to visual effects in terms of how they were pulled off. But in this movie, it just felt like they just went way too far with it, and I don't understand why it relied on CG so much. It doesn't really work or add to the experience. The CG animals that don't really feel like they're a part of the environment, and there's just so many sequences in this film that just would have worked better if it was practical, or if it was going to use CG, use it sparingly, and so that when it doesn't look that great, you can kind of just be like, okay, it's there, but it's not in the movie too much. Like, there are a couple moments in the original trilogy that do have that, but it doesn't ruin the movie because it's done sparingly, and also when you do notice it, it's not a big chunk of the movie. And I just really wasn't attached to the story. Like, as much as I enjoyed the adventure at points and where it kind of led us to, I just didn't really care about what was going on because it was just things happening, and it was kind of repetitive at points, and I just didn't really have much of a hook that was grabbing me. Even with the characters, like, a good chunk of the characters I just don't find interesting. Like Ray Winstone, like, his character is infamous for being, like, really bad, just like this character who's basically a triple agent. But, yeah, that was kind of irritating. Didn't really need to be in the movie. And also, speaking of the characters, some of them are pretty annoying. Like, Kate Blanchett's annoying in this. Shia LaBeouf was kind of annoying at points. Ray Winstone. And John Hurt at a couple points. Like, this movie just had a bunch of annoying characters that I didn't care about. And it was just detracting from the overall story. Like, I just didn't really care about what was going on. And because this movie isn't taking place during World War II or like the 30s or early 40s, like in that time frame, this movie is set in the 1950s. I forget exactly when, but it's during the Cold War, and we get Russians, and that's fine and all, but they just don't have anything interesting about them. Like, they're just not interesting characters. I didn't care about what was going on with those characters. And going back to how this movie looks, like this glow that just looks really annoying, like it was present in Spielberg's early 2000s movies, like sometimes Catch Me If You Can had it. Minority Report is a huge example of this. Like that movie just looks ugly to me. War of the Worlds has it. And I don't remember if The Terminal has it or not, but there was a point in Steven Spielberg's career where let's just have everything just really bright and kind of glowy, and everyone's going to be okay with it. And personally, I was never once okay with it. So it was just always an issue for me. And that's about all I have to say about Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. There were some good things about it, but there's also a bunch of negatives that go along with it. For every positive, this movie has a negative, at the very least. So in the end, it's just not that great of a movie. I don't think I'll ever bother watching this film again, except for like a couple scenes. Like I think the Get That Greaser scene was pretty fun, and it's like the best action scene in the whole movie. But aside from that, there's just not much that stands out to me as particularly memorable when it comes to the action, unless it's just so ridiculously stupid that it just drags it down for me. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull a 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thought of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for The Substance, and hopefully I can actually watch it this time without having to buy it digitally. So hopefully that's the case. If not, I'm just going to have to watch something else. But anyways, until I get my review for The Substance up, thank you for watching and have a great day.